Hello again, so happy you could join us. We're reading from the Complete Jewish Bible, which is a translation of the Hebrew Bible. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 through 9, Shema. Hear, Israel, Adonai our God, Adonai is one. And you're to love Adonai your God with all your heart, all your being, and all your resources. These words which I am ordering you today are to be on your heart, and you're to teach them carefully to your children. You're to talk about them when you sit at home, when you're traveling on the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Tie them on your hand as a sign. Put them at the front of a headband around your forehead, and write them on the door frames of your house and on your gates. Matthew chapter 6, verses 9 through 14, the Lord's Prayer. Our Father in heaven, may your name be kept holy. May your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as in heaven. Give us the food we need today. Forgive us what we have done wrong, as we too have forgiven those who have wronged us. And do not lead us into hard testing, but keep us safe from the evil one. For kingship, power, and glory are yours forever. So we are on Exodus chapter 15. Then Moshe and the people of Israel sang this song to Adonai. I will sing to Adonai, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he threw in the sea. Yah is my strength and my song, and he has become my salvation. This is my God, I will glorify him. My father's God, I will exalt him. Adonai is a warrior, Adonai is his name. Pharaoh's chariots and his army he hurled into the sea. His elite commanders were drowned in the sea of Suf. The deep waters covered them. They sank to the depths like a stone. Your right hand, Adonai, is sublimely powerful. Your right hand, Adonai, shatters the foe. By your great majesty you bring down your enemies. You send out your wrath to consume them like stubble. With a blast from your nostrils the waters piled up. The waters stood up like a wall. The depths of the sea became firm ground. The enemy said, I will pursue and overtake, divide the spoil and gorge myself on them. I will draw my sword, my hand will destroy them. You blew with your wind, the sea covered them. They sank like lead in the mighty waters. Who is like you, Adonai, among the mighty? Who is like you, sublime in holiness, awesome in praises, working wonders? You reached out with your right hand, the earth swallowed them. In your love you led the people you redeemed. In your strength you guided them to your holy abode. The peoples have heard and they tremble. Anguish takes hold of those living in Philistia. Then the chiefs of Edom are dismayed. Trepidation seizes the heads of Moab, and those living in Canaan are melted away. Terror and dread fall on them. By the might of your arm they are still as stone. Until your people pass over, Adonai, till the people you purchased pass over, you will bring them in and plant them on the mountain which is your heritage, the place, Adonai, that you made your abode, the sanctuary, Adonai, which your hands established. Adonai will reign forever and ever, for the horses of Pharaoh went with his chariots, and with his cavalry into the sea. But Adonai brought the sea waters back upon them, while the people of Israel walked on dry land in the midst of the sea. Also Miriam the prophet, sister of Aaron, took a tambourine in her hand, and all the women went out after her with tambourines dancing. As Miriam sang to them, Sing to Adonai, for he is highly exalted. The horse and its rider he threw in the sea. Moshe led Israel onward from the sea of Suf, then went out into the Shur desert, but after traveling 3 days in the desert, they found no water. They arrived at Marah, but could not drink the water there because it was bitter. This is why they called it Marah. The people grumbled against Moshe and asked, What are you to drink? Moshe cried to Adonai, and Adonai showed him a certain piece of wood, which when he threw it into the water, made the water taste good. Then Adonai made laws and rules of life for them, and there he tested them. He said, If you will listen intently to the voice of Adonai, your God, do what he considers right, pay attention to his mitzvah, and observe his laws, I will not afflict you with any of these diseases I brought on the Egyptians, because I am Adonai your healer. They came to Elim, where there were 12 springs and 70 palm trees, and camped there by the water. And now if we can go to 1 Samuel chapter 20. David fled from the prophet's dormitory in Ramah, returned to Jonathan and said, "What have I done? Where have I gone wrong? What sin have I committed that makes your father want to take my life?" Jonathan replied, "Heaven forbid, you're not going to die. Look, my father does nothing important or unimportant without telling me first. So why should my father hide this from me? It will not happen." In response, David swore, "Your father knows very well that you have made me your friend. This is why he will say, 'Jonathan must not know this, or he will be unhappy.' As truly as Adonai lives, and as truly as you are alive, there is only a step between me and death." Jonathan said to David, "Anything you want me to do for you, I will do." David answered Jonathan, "Look, tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh, and I ought to be dining with the king. Instead, let me go and hide myself in the countryside until evening of the third day. If your father misses me at all, say David begged me to let him hurry to Beit Lechem, his city, because it is the annual sacrifice there for his whole family. If he says very good, then your servant will be all right. But if he gets angry, you will know that he has planned something bad. Therefore show kindness to your servant, for you bound your servant to yourself by a covenant before Adonai. But if I have done something wrong, kill me yourself. Why turn me over to your father?" Jonathan said, "Heaven forbid. If I ever were to learn that my father had definitely decided to harm you, wouldn't I tell you?" Then David asked Jonathan, "Who will tell me in the event your father gives you a harsh answer?" Jonathan said to David, "Come, let us go out into the countryside." They went out, both of them, to the countryside. Jonathan said to David, "Adonai, the God of Israel, is witness. After I've sounded out my father about this time tomorrow on the third day, then if things look good for David, I will send and let you know. But if my father intends to do you harm, may Adonai do as much and more to me if I do not let you know and send you away so that you can go in peace. And may Adonai be with you just as he used to be with my father. However, you are to show me Adonai's kindness not only while I am alive, so that I do not die, but also after Adonai has eliminated every one of David's enemies from the face of the earth. You are to continue showing kindness to my family forever." Thus Jonathan made a covenant with the family of David, adding, "May Adonai seek its fulfillment even through David's enemies." Jonathan had David swear it again because of the love he had for him. He loved him as he loved himself. Jonathan said to him, "Tomorrow is Rosh Chodesh, and you will be missed because your seat will be empty. The third day, hide yourself well in the same place as you did before. Stay by the departure stone. I will shoot 3 arrows to one side, as if I were shooting at a target. Then I will send my boy to recover them. If I tell the boy, 'They're here on this side of you,' take them, then come. It means that everything is peaceful for you. As Adonai lives, there is nothing wrong. But if I tell the boy the arrows are out there beyond you, then get going because Adonai is sending you away. As for the matter we discussed earlier, Adonai is between you and me, forever." So David hid himself in the countryside. When Rosh Chodesh came, the king sat down to eat his meal. The king sat at his usual place by the wall. Jonathan stood up and Abner sat next to Shaul, but David's place was empty. However, Shaul did not say anything that day because he thought, "Something has happened to him. He's unclean." Yes, that's it. He is not clean. The day after Rosh Chodesh, the second day, David's place was empty, and Shaul said to Jonathan his son, "Why hasn't Jeshaiah's son come to the meal either yesterday nor today. Jonathan answered Shaul, David begged me to let him go to Bethlehem. He said, please let me go because our family has a sacrifice in the city, and my brother demanded that I come. So now if you look on me favorably, please let me get away and see my brothers. That is why he has not come to the king's table. At that Shaul flew into a rage at Jonathan and said, You crooked rebel! Don't I know that you've made this son of Jeshai your best friend? You do not care that you're shaming yourself and dishonoring your mother, do you? Because as long as the son of Jeshai lives on this earth, neither you nor your kingdom will be secure. Now send and bring him here to me. He deserves to die. Jonathan answered Shaul his father, Why should he be put to death? What has he done? But Shaul threw his spear at him, aiming to kill. Jonathan could no longer doubt that his father was determined to put David to death. Jonathan got up from the table in a fury, and he ate no food the second day of the month, both because he was upset over David and because his father had put him to shame. The next morning Jonathan went out into the country at the time he had arranged with David. Taking with him a young boy, he told the boy, Now run and find the arrows I'm about to shoot. As the boy ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. When the boy reached the place where the arrow was that Jonathan had shot, Jonathan shouted at the boy, Isn't the arrow beyond you? Jonathan continued shouting after the boy, Quick, hurry, do not just stand there. Jonathan's boy gathered the arrows and returned to his master, but the boy did not understand anything about the matter. Only Jonathan and David understood. Jonathan gave his weapons to his boy and said to him, Go carry them to the city. As soon as the boy had gone, David got up from a place south of the stone, fell face down on the ground, and prostrated himself 3 times. And they kissed one another and wept each with the other until it became too much for David. Jonathan said to David, Go in peace, because we have sworn both of us in the name of Adonai that Adonai will be between me and you, and between my descendants and yours forever. And now, Psalms chapter 65. A Psalm of David. To you, God, in Zion, silence is praise, and vows to you are to be fulfilled. You who listen to prayer, to you all living creatures come. When deeds of wickedness overwhelm me, you will atone for our crimes. How blessed are those you choose and bring near, so that they can remain in your courtyards. We will be satisfied with the goodness of your house, the holy place of your temple. It is just that you answer us with awesome deeds, God of our salvation, you in whom all put their trust, to the ends of the earth and on distant seas. By your strength you set up the mountains, you are clothed with power. You still the roaring of the seas, their crashing waves, and the people's turmoil. This is why those living at the ends of the earth stand in awe of your signs. The places where the sun rises and sets, you cause to sing for joy. You care for the earth and water it, you enrich it greatly. With the river of God, full of water, you provide them grain and prepare the ground. Soaking its furrows and settling its soil, you soften it with showers and bless its growth. You crown the year with your goodness, your tracts overflow with richness, the desert pastures drip water, the hills are wrapped with joy, the meadows are clothed with flocks, and the valleys blanketed with grain. So they shout for joy and break into song. And lastly, Luke 21. Then Joshua looked up, and as he watched the rich placing their gifts into the temple offering boxes, he also saw a poor widow put in 2 small coins. He said, I tell you the truth, this poor widow has put in more than all the others, for they out of their wealth have contributed money they could easily spare. But she out of her poverty has given all she had to live on. As some people were remarking about the temple, how beautiful its stonework and memorial decorations were, he said, The time is coming when what you see here will be totally destroyed. Not a single stone will be left standing. They asked him, Rabbi, if this is so, when will these events take place? And what sign will show that they are about to happen? He answered, Watch out, do not be fooled, for many will come in my name, saying, I am he, and the time has come. Do not go after them, and when you hear of wars and revolutions, do not panic, for these things must happen first, but the end will not follow immediately. Then he told them, Peoples will fight each other, nations will fight each other. There will be great earthquakes, there will be epidemics and famines in various places, and there will be fearful sights and great signs from heaven. Before all this, they will arrest you and persecute you, handing you over to the synagogues and prisons, and you will be brought before kings and governors. This will be all on account of me, but it will prove an opportunity for you to bear witness. So make up your minds not to worry, rehearsing your defense beforehand, for I myself will give you an eloquence and a wisdom that no adversary will be able to resist or refute. You will be betrayed even by parents, brothers, relatives, and friends. Some of you they will have put to death, and everyone will hate you because of me. But not a hair of your head will be lost. By standing firm, you will save your lives. However, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then you are to understand that she is about to be destroyed. Those in Judah must escape to the hills. Those inside the city must get out, and those in the country must not enter it. For these are the days of vengeance, when everything that has been written in the Tanakh will come true. What a terrible time it will be for pregnant women and nursing mothers, for there will be great distress in the land and judgment on the people. Some will fall by the edge of the sword, others will be carried into all the countries of the Gentiles, and Jerusalem will be trampled down by the Gentiles until the age of the Gentiles has run its course. There will appear signs in the sun, moon and stars, and on earth. Nations will be in anxiety and bewilderment at the sound and surge of the sea, as people faint with fear at the prospect of what is overtaking the world. For the powers in heaven will be shaken, and then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with tremendous power and glory. When these things start to happen, stand up and hold your head high, because you are about to be liberated. Then he told them a parable. Look at the fig tree. Indeed, all the trees, as soon as they sprout leaves, you can see for yourselves that summer is near. In the same way, when you see these things taking place, you are to know that the kingdom of God is near. Yes, I tell you that this generation will certainly not pass away before it has all happened. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will certainly not pass away. But keep watch on yourselves and on your hearts, But keep watch on yourselves, or your hearts will become dulled by carousing, drunkenness, and the worries of everyday life. And the day will be sprung upon you suddenly like a trap. For it will close in on everyone, no matter where they live, throughout the whole world. Stay alert, always praying that you will have the strength to escape all the things that will happen, and to stand in the presence of the Son of Man. Jeshua spent his day at the temple teaching, while at night he went out and stayed on the hills called the Mount of Olives. All the people would rise with the dawn to come and hear him at the temple courts. Numbers chapter 6 verses 24 through 26. Aaron's blessing. May Adonai bless you and keep you. May Adonai make his face shine upon you and show you his favor. May Adonai lift up his face toward you and give you his shalom. Thank you so much again for joining us. Until next time, shalom.